Hello. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. I'm glad to be here on this call this evening. And I'm excited to be your host. My name is Henry Semwanga Lule, and I work with Solutions Africa. A little bit about me, I'm a husband to one actress for the last 25 years and still counting, and a father to many. An internationally certified trainer and speaker and coach with the John Maxwell team. I'm also an executive coach with the Marshall Goldsmith Stakeholder-Centered Coaching. And essentially, I've been around. So I wanted to share a few things about the law that we'll be considering today. And the law we are considering is the seventh law in the book, the 15 Invariable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell. And it's the law of design. And it says to maximize growth, develop strategies. To maximize growth, develop strategies. And so a little bit about these laws. John has written a number of books. I think this should be the third one talking about laws. He wrote the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. He's talked about the laws of teamwork, and this is the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And it's talking about mainly personal growth. Your personal growth as a leader, your personal growth as a person. And so I think they're quite instructive. I started interacting with John's materials quite some time back, but most seriously in 2015, I think that's when my awareness was raised to these laws. And this law of design, I think, is important for us to realize that if we have to grow, then we have to have strategies. It reminds me about my own life that about 3 or 4 years ago, I, had this personal wake-up call. Went to the doctor, and actually started with, I used to be a blood donor right from my high school. So I go to donate blood, and lo and behold, I can't because my blood not drop, and so on and so forth. So going to the doctor, I realized that I had high blood sugar, not yet diabetic, but at that time I was definitely overweight. And so the wake-up call for me was that I needed to do something about it. And so I had to devise a plan. I had to devise a plan, one, of reducing my weight, two, of actually becoming more active. And so in that area, I decided to have a deliberate plan. And so it's instructive that even in our personal lives, if we need to grow, then we need to have this, to design a plan. I know growing up in my own life, many of us thought, to have a plan was too much, or to have, deliberate a plan of action, would refer to such people as being ambitious and so on. And so, life just happened to us. Life just happened to us. And for many of us, it actually does. And so you know, and it's not too late to start. I know that I started it late, but it's paying off. It's paying off in terms of me having, if I'm to grow, you know, one, I invested in myself with the John Maxwell team setup, but that meant that, you know, one, you have to invest in it, but two, you have to take time to read the materials, and you take time to practice it. And the essential thing is that, you know, I took on that deliberate plan. Currently, still within my plan, I am doing a postgraduate, PhD studies really, but again, it's in the broader plan, you know, that in my plan, the PhD is going to help me in my day-to-day work, in terms of the leadership trainer, in terms of the leadership coach, in terms of an executive coach, and all that is really within that, in the law of design, that if I'm to maximize my growth, then I have to develop strategies, which basically means that you have to sacrifice, you have to invest, sometimes, you know, at the cost of, you know, causing issues in your own, you know, personal life. So, just like it says in the book, that if you don't design your own life plan, chances are that you'll fall into somebody else's plan, and guess what? Those people don't have a plan for you. So, for many of us, we take on jobs. We think that our workplace is going to, you know, to plan for us. You know, many refer to, oh, you know, they have this plan for me, they have this other plan for me. Guess what? They may not have they may have a plan for the organization and not basically for you, because the day you leave, somebody else will fill that job or that space. So the question is, for you, what is your plan? So it's very important. It's very important for you to have your own personal plan, because guess what? Other people may not have a plan for you. And so, you know, John highlights a number of things in this book, that he talks about life lessons, and basically saying keeping it simple. You know, life is simple, but the question is, how do we keep it that simple? You know, we many times complicate it and that sort of thing, but keeping it simple can be a difficult thing if we do not have a plan. If we do not have, or we don't know what is of value to us, many times we define ourselves in terms of other people, or other people expect of us. And so the encouragement here is for us to know what we value most, you know, what is important to me, and therefore devising or designing a plan around that. And he encourages us to keep our plans very simple, you know, to say, can it be easily received? Can it be repeated? And can it be transferred strategically? You want to have a simple plan that serves you, really serves you, and that's critical, you know, for us. And so John also, you know, tells us that life comes with neither an instruction manual nor a chance to warm up. Guess what? I learned also early in life that life is not a rehearsal. A dear friend of mine, were talking about certain things, and I said, you know what, Henry? Life is not a rehearsal. And you are in real time. You know, there's no time that you will do things and you become perfect around it. So it's important for us to, it's important for you and me to have a plan. And so the law of design is telling us to do that. Design your plan, have a strategy around that. And, you know, there are no instructions that come. You know, when we're born, there's no instruction manual that is given to us by our parents. We're born and get into the world. And so this is the time for you to develop strategies, to develop a system that works for you. again, as I said, talked about my own personal life in terms of physical fitness. I have a deliberate plan that at least each week I work out 3 times a day, 3 times a week, sorry, for at least an hour. If I can do 5, very good, but at least 3 times a week. And that has helped me to stick to it. Is it easy? Of course it's not. It requires a lot of discipline. It requires, it can be painful, and indeed it is, but it requires discipline. It also goes to the food that you eat. So you have to have a strategy around the food that, I have to, not that I'll starve myself, but I'll be deliberate about what I eat. Of course, knowing that, some foods are not good for you and that sort of thing, and the principle is one: eat it and burn it, and help the body to. So that is a strategy. That's a strategy for me to keep fit, for me to keep my blood sugars in check. And of course, the measurements that, have a system of measuring. How am I moving? The weight measures in the gym or whatever. Check your blood sugar, that sort of things. And, that becomes for you a strategy to improve on that which you set out to do. And so I think it's important for us. It's very important for us to have a plan in our lives, to develop the strategies, and then to have a system. One of the things that helps me also is to have an instructor who gives me a regime for exercising, but also, who keeps me in check, an accountability partner, as it were. That is also a strategy. Somebody who's, and even a training partner who will keep you to say, who keep checking on you. Oh, today you didn't come. What's happening? That sort of thing. So, really and truly, I think what I'm trying to achieve today is to say, ladies and gentlemen, John has given us a system through the 15 invaluable laws of growth. And today we're talking about the law of design. The law of design. And it's saying that if you have to maximize your growth, you have to develop strategies. What strategies are you have you designed to enable you to achieve your plan? First of all, to begin with, do you have a plan? Have you designed that plan? Right? So if you have that plan, then it's important for us to have those strategies in place, to design systems in the various areas of your life: career, faith, family, health. I remember again somebody who talked about the 7 F's of life. There's family, fun, friends, farm, meaning what you do, fitness, what are the other 2? So do you have a plan around that? Other people have drawn a wheel of life, and the wheel of life having those spokes, the 7 spokes. Yeah. And the issue is, for a wheel to move, it has to be even. So what plans that you have? Family, finances, fitness, friendships or friends, farm, fun, faith. Yeah. What plans do you have around those? Many times, we have probably a plan for career, but what about your family life? What about your faith? What about your finances? What about fun? Again, remember, life is not a rehearsal. Life is too short to waste. We should have fun. Yeah. So what are we doing in those areas? What strategies have you put together for you to have fun? What strategies have you put together for you to have, to get your finance plan working? And so, anyway, let me keep it there and look forward to having a chat with us in the evening. And have a brilliant day today. Thank you.